Hey Grishma, I just got your file and I haven't checked any of it. I thought I would just show you kind of what I'm doing. And maybe it's all perfect. I hope it is. But just in case it isn't, I thought it might be helpful if you could see what I'm looking for and how I'm fixing things. So, um, first of all, I just sort of glance through and see. Um, Usually, if it's a U.S. dealer, that's the one I'm sort of trying to check. But one thing, there's a couple of things that caught my eye here right away. I just noticed this. You've got to be really careful how you enter things in. So for here, for example, you've got U.S. dealer, which is right. But here you put U.S. dealers. So when I go to upload this into Salesforce, it's going to put it under a lead source that doesn't exist, and all of the ones that are labeled as U.S. U.S. dealers are not going to work. So I know it. Trust me, I know this can be difficult sometimes, but we got to get it accurate, or the upload just won't work. And that, of course, won't make any sense. So, in terms of the time we're spending. So make sure you're being really accurate with the terms you're using. I'm going through and just changing all that. So that'll be the first thing that I want to make sure I save. Sorry, I'm getting text messages here. So that's one thing. The other thing I noticed right off is, remember, we don't really have a Deere dealer. We have Deere Hitachi dealer. So all Deere dealers should be Deere Hitachi dealers at this point in time. I know Deere dealer may still be on there, but I want to delete that, and I'll go in and delete it. But if you could, just from now on, if they're a Deere dealer, well, let's do Deere Hitachi. All right, let's get on to checking here. So the first one, let's try Modern Equipment. Yeah, I mean, clearly they're an equipment dealer, so great. Let's go to the next one. So this one, Mountain Crane Service, just from the name of the company, I would immediately sort of think of them as more of a crane dealer. You've got them as a rental company, and you may be more right. There's a lot of overlap there sometimes. Let's look. This is Mountain Crane Rental Company. It looks like the only thing that they do rent is cranes. And in the crane world, what that usually means is that they also, they're basically hiring out someone to operate the cranes as well. So in that particular case, and actually I would not really expect you to know this, but I would change this to a crane end user, because they don't really sell a lot of cranes. I don't see anywhere in here where they're selling them. And they do rent them out, but I would rather have them classified as an end user because they don't rent out other types of equipment. So I don't want to be sending them a bulldozer or a wheel loader, for example. Let's try more of your equipment. Yep. Looks good. Skip it down a little bit and try some different ones since they're looking right, so MTI Equipment. The first impression I get from them is that they are what's called an authorized dealer. So they sell different major brands. Now they do say they buy used equipment, so let's see what that's about. Right, so they're just looking for trade-ins. So if you go to their products, you click on other equipment, we'll see what they have. They've got a skid steer and then something, I don't even know what this is, some generators and stuff. But this is all, yeah, for the most part, I would say that this is not going to be what we'd call a U.S. dealer. They're going to be an authorized dealer. Probably I saw Ditch Witch as a brand that they represent. And there's a few different kinds here, but we don't have Vermeer as a U.S. or as an authorized source like Deere or Hitachi or whatever. We have Ditch Witch though. That's in the Google Docs. So now the other thing, this is directional drills, so it could possibly put them in as a drill dealer. Sorry, my text message is going crazy here. So I mean, again, this could be debated sometimes, but I would probably go in and put them as a Ditch Witch dealer. And just so you know, anytime I see an equipment company with a bunch of contacts, it's unlikely, not impossible, but it's unlikely that they're going to be a used equipment dealer. Just because the used equipment companies tend to be on the smaller side, and they don't have all those contacts. That's not always the case, but often it is. Good. That's definitely a U.S. dealer. Let's go to Northwest Equipment Sales. That may not be the same company that you had. Let's look at the URL. NW Equip. Yeah, that's fine. Let's try. Northwest Power Equipment. Something's wrong with their website. Alright, I'm just going to leave that one alone. Lakeland Used Equipment Agriculture Dealer. If I see it classified as agriculture dealer, I'm usually not going to check it because I'm not super interested in those right now, and it's fine. It's usually pretty obvious as well. So sometimes these do not show up, so I just have to search with Damascus. I'm not really finding it there either. Let's just try and see what this does. So it's taking me to a different country's Damascus, but maybe it'll work. Alright, Lambert International. Clearly they sell a lot of different equipment. Good. US dealer. Lassiter. Alright, so you put these as an end user. I'll be curious to see why. I mean, we do have a lot of US end users. We treat them very, very differently than our dealers. We don't bother them with a bunch of emails all the time. We try to limit our correspondence with them. So they have an equipment company as part of their company. It's pretty specific to forestry equipment. Although, okay, so they have a machinery trader listed. listing. I would say since they do have used equipment on Machinery Trader, I would go ahead and put them as a U.S. dealer. And they are an end user, but they have a whole branch that just deals with selling equipment. So let's check one more. This is another Crane end user, so they're showing some of what they do. Alright, I'm going to check the rest of them too. This may just be something I have to do every time. I would say overall these are more accurate, and I think they'll continue to get more accurate as we move forward. Thanks a lot for watching.